So let me finally get this video in. I want to talk about this past weekend's AEW Collision. It was a hot show. So let me get into it how I remember it. I am so damn tired right now, man. Busy day, but I'm going to get this video in. So, Samoa Joe versus Nick Wayne. I remember that. I think that was the first match. Good match. Good back and forth. Of course, the rest of the Patriot is, they're getting involved in the match. And so, Hook comes out. Kenta comes out. Even up the odds. Solid match. Samoa Joe gets the win. Now, I don't see a feud here with Nick Wayne and Samoa Joe. I'm not sure. I think more so what I like is, Nick Wayne is getting some time with these more experienced guys. And I remember when Nick Wayne first came there, and I think it was little Daredevil, man, that brought him in there. And looking at how his character has evolved and him, being in a stable with Christian. I don't know what the hell happened to Kill Switch, if he's still there, if he's injured. I hear nothing about him. I've heard nothing. But yeah, I don't know. But I know it's yeah. Kill Switch has been missing in action for a long time. I don't know what the situation is with that. But anyway, good match. And Nick Wayne can hold his own. And I'll see if anything at some point, Christian versus Samoa Joe somewhere down the line. But, however it goes, either way, good match. And I feel like Nick Wayne is in good hands, being a part of the stable that he's in. I don't remember the matches in order, and if I forget something, so what? No, so anyways, we had Okada versus the Commander. Another good match. And Commander, man, he's another high flyer that does a bunch of amazing things. But one of the things, like I said before, man, like with these luchador style wrestlers, right? I don't feel like they're in enough storylines in wrestling, period. Outside of the CMLL, really, because to be honest with you, it's like people look at these luchadors like, just let them do their thing and they'll wow the crowd. They're not really involved in a lot of storylines, though. Now, we know the Commander has been in some certain matches, and he's had his matches, and it's like when Pence and Ray Phoenix was there, they had their feuds, a lot of injuries. They were there, then they wasn't there. Okay, so, but yeah, these luchadors, man, they're not involved in enough storylines, and enough stuff where they're not involved in enough storylines to a top opposition. They'll get a match, though. At least they'll get the matches. But it's more than you just doing these insane moves. I mean, because you do all that, what does it lead to? Just so want to offer in the crowd. At some point, if you're not winning, or you're not, doing anything for them to really, remember you by, to really get into your character, then it becomes a short-lived thing, All right, but Commander pretty much held his own. Good match. Okada got the win. And Okada's funny as a bad guy, man. Those facial expressions he make. He's I don't know, man. He has like a dry type sense of humor, man. Like and it's just funny the things he does. It's the one thing I like about Okada, he can wrestle, and he doesn't try to be like he doesn't try to do a whole bunch of over the top stuff to try to be entertaining. He just does his thing his way. And I like that. I like that about Okada. And since the Young Bucks have been MIA, he's been doing his thing on his own. And, he being a part of what they were doing, okay, cool. But without them, he's still doing his thing. And now it's more of a focus on him as opposed to just coming out with the Young Bucks. And, he was still getting his matches in and being involved in, top level matches. I like this style of wrestling, man, more so, like I said, than these super long, never-ending storylines that just go on and on forever, and then when you think they're over, they're not over. And so what happens is, okay, let me say this, then I'll sum this stuff up later. What I'm about to get into, what I was about to get into. So, good match, solid match, back and forth. Now, they have a trios match. The Undisputed Kingdom versus Daddy Magic, Cool Hands, and Danny Garcia. Hard-hitting match. Another solid match. Back and forth. With the Undisputed Kingdom getting the win. Cool Hands got pinned. Now, okay. Once again, let me save it. They had some promos. I saw Jon Moxley backstage with Claudio and his wife. And I didn't quite know what the hell he was talking about. I remember him saying, like, who's going to something explain this or something. He was talking about what he was trying to do, what he was supposed to be doing, and how he wants AEW to stick around far after he's gone. And, he said this, he's kind of alluded to this stuff before, but it's like the way the conversation picked up. I feel like it was done like that on purpose to make you go like, okay, I heard him, I understand what he said, but like, what happened? Because it looked like, almost like the camera, it was almost like the scene was supposed to be like he's already in mid-conversation, and now the camera just picks him up. Like, meanwhile, this is what Moxley, and the Death Riders are doing backstage or whatever, like type of thing, But anyway, so he has a quick little thing there, and all right. I remember I think it's Dante Martin. I'm not even sure if that's his brother or somebody else that came along, I just don't remember. And Layla Gray. And pretty much they were kind of going back and forth because, if that's his brother, whatever. He was basically saying, his partner, let's just say it that way, he was just basically saying how he never wanted Leo Rush to be in the group anyway. So, Leo Rush and Action Andretti, they became a tag team. And so now basically the partner is supposed to be, in a match with Leo Rush coming up. And pretty much they were talking about, the betrayal. And so they're promoting, setting up for their match to happen. I'm just trying to get what I remember out the way of that. Mercedes Moné was being interviewed, and what's her name? Harley Cameron came out, starts singing her "Feel the Wrath" and doing her little thing, and so she's asking for a match with Mercedes, and Mercedes tell her, you haven't even won a match. You don't win matches. That's not going to happen. Basically belittled her, made fun of her, and went back in her dressing room. Okay, and Harley Cameron, I see what they're doing with her is they're developing her character, and her character is catching on. You hear the type of ovation she get when she comes out. So eventually she's going to start to win matches and, grow as a character, grow as a wrestler, and all of that type of stuff. So she's basically, getting over with the fans with her character, which is something, I'll sum this all up afterwards. But also, was it Max Caster or whatever? He comes, he does this segment where he's saying he got backstabbed, he got turned on by his partner and Daddy Ass, and how, he's the best wrestler and he's issued a challenge, and you can't, basically saying there's nobody better than him and whatever. Now, I'm interested to see what direction he goes in terms of his character. I noticed he talks with a little more authority. He was talking with a little more authority than he usually does. I don't know if it was just that night because he was just doing this solo interview or whatever, but I'm interested to see where his character is going to go. And is he actually going to, really go in there and show these skills to where he is really like, this badass wrestler. I don't mean necessarily, whichever direction his character goes. Point is, I'm interested to see where his character goes to. And like I said, is he gonna live up to that being the best wrestler in the world? Like, that type of thing, and see where it goes. Okay. We had who else? We had the Hounds of Hell, formerly known as the House of Black, minus Aleister Black. So Julia Hart, of course, is with them. They come out. It's funny, I was just talking about the Gates of Agony the other day on video, and they were in the match against the Hounds of Hell, back and forth, hard-hitting match. Yeah, man, I like both of those teams. And one thing for sure, man, Brody and Buddy Matthews are fine, and Julia Hart with the, listen, let's say if they get another member. Not that they need one, but let's say if they did. Okay, as a fashion, one of the things is for sure. Now, the most experienced guy in the group is pretty much more than likely going to be the so-called leader. They don't need a leader, man. They don't need anybody to guide them around, man. When a couple weeks ago, when Adam Copeland came out and told him that, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad that he did that, because it's like one of these things is where, even like when Brody Lee was with the Dark Order, it's like they were looking for somebody that has some real popularity, some real notoriety to lead that group. And then Brody Lee came. Now, of course, we know, he passed away, but some things you don't need to try to redo. Some things are like, okay, we've done that, now let's evolve. That's what I want to see happen with the Hounds of Hell. Not, let's try to, redo what we did with the House of Black. This is what I was saying to you guys about, like, the YS6. It's like, see, it's not, and it's not about being negative, because, like I said, you don't know if something's going to work until you try. But seeing what they came up with is like, this is not going to, it's, when you look at who they have, and look at what they've been given, it wasn't hard to see, man. Like, you can only pay homage to Bray Wyatt so many times. Like, you got to deliver in that ring. And as a group, you just take these people, throw some paint on their faces and whatever. There's some goofy masks, and they act crazy. And this is supposed to just be like, like I said, they completely destroyed Bray Wyatt. He reinvented himself a couple of times, and every time the fans really got into what he did, and they just buried him. And it's like, it's like, with Adam Copeland and FTR. This reminds you nothing of the Judgment Day that he started in the WWE. Nothing like it. And this is my point. Same thing with the Hounds of Hell. We don't need to try to redo what you've already done. Evolve. And they had a solid match. I like the Gates of Agony, man, and that was a solid match. Now you have a women's 4-way match. We had Queen Aminata. We had Yuka Sawa. How you say her name? Sakazaki. Serena Deeb, and had the Virtuosa. Good 4-way. And the winner is pretty much wrestling Mercedes Moné this Wednesday. Now, good match all around. And look, so Yuka gets the win. Pretty much Taya Valkyrie was getting involved in the match, and then, Harley Cameron comes out. She stopped them from doing like a double team move on the Virtuosa and Taya Valkyrie, and she starts to fight back, and of course she winds up getting a roll-up pin on Deonna Purrazzo. So she will be fighting Mercedes this Wednesday. And this didn't hurt anybody, man. I mean, Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb got into it, started scuffling, and they kind of got away from the ring, fought back up the ramp. So, you know, this didn't hurt anyone. And I'm going to explain some things, like I keep saying, because I'm about to go into it. Then all right, let me just say this first. Okay, get the matches out the way. And then, good match. It didn't hurt, like I said, it didn't hurt anyone. And look, Mercedes Moné is not going to lose this belt on Wednesday night. And I feel like the right person won, simply because that Queen Aminata, she had a shot at Mercedes Moné. People either don't remember that, or more than likely, like I'm going to get into in a little while, it's all of these WWE fans sitting back watching to try to criticize because they don't understand what's going on. And once again, if it's not whatever the WWE is doing, they just don't understand how to accept something different. And that's their problem. Okay, so pretty much Deonna Purrazzo has never fought against Mercedes Moné. Serena Deeb has never fought against Mercedes Moné. Okay, Yuka hasn't. And Yuka's not going to win the belt. I don't know Yuka's place in AEW as far as, I'm pretty sure, I know they like having her around for sure, because she's been back and she's been there from the beginning. But I feel like at some point, Deonna Purrazzo will get either the TBS champion or even maybe world champion one day. At some point. You don't know. I can't say for sure, you know, whatever, but she wrestles a lot. She's definitely earning her money. She's being on, you know, on AEW programming often. And, you know, I like Deonna Purrazzo as a wrestler. I was talking about her before she even came. Like, these are things like people like, I mean, I've been watching all of these people on the indies. So before they come into AEW, before they come into WWE, a whole lot of these people, I know who they are already. So I saw potential in Deonna Purrazzo, and when she went to the WWE, for all of you WWE fans that love to, you know, talk about, when she was in WWE, she was told she was fat. She didn't have the look. She didn't have what it took. When she went to TNA, she got treated very well. Now, let me explain something to you about TNA. TNA is known for taking mid-card WWE wrestlers that were let go or left on their own, and they bring them there. Nick Nemeth, what championship did you see him winning in the WWE? What's the last thing Nick Nemeth has done and the WWE that you remember? You understand what I'm saying? So these guys come over and the Hardys are not, look, Matt and Jeff Hardy are not big time players in terms of their legend, in terms of their respect, yeah. But in terms of, like, if they win the WWE right now, do you think either one of them would be winning anything? Do you forget how they went out? Both times. Do you forget how they went out in the WWE? So even in AEW, where, you know, you have a big roster and there's people that is not being used. There's people that I would like to see them use more. And I'm pretty sure there's other people like to see them use more. But, you know, there's constant criticism, there's constant bitching and complaining that gets no one anywhere. This is the thing about it. Just like with Naomi. Naomi comes to TNA and Naomi becomes Knockouts champion. This is what TNA is known for doing. They take former WWE wrestlers, they come in, bam, champion. Just like that, champion. Now, when you look at it, right, this isn't even the top level people. This is the people, even the mid-carder is more known than the top TNA wrestler, right? So, for the most part, yeah. She came over there, so somebody's toes always have to get stepped on. So, as much as I like Deonna Purrazzo as a wrestler, this is my point. I like Queen Aminata. I like all of them that was involved. Serena Deeb, all of them. Okay? You guys forget how dirty the WWE did her, right? Serena Deeb. So, this is what I'm saying. When I watch them, everybody can't win. Okay? It doesn't make a difference. Whoever your favorites are, when they lose, this one should have won. They're not going to win all the time. I don't know who the next person is going to get their push, and that's one of the biggest mistakes people make as wrestling fans, is that whoever you see win matches, you automatically think they're supposed to just get they're gonna get a championship shot, because that's not how it works. They're trying to push everybody. Now, let me say, Queen Aminata is all 4 women involved are top level players. Okay, and the thing about it is, like I said, Yuka winning hurts nothing. She's going to give Mercedes a good fight. She's going to lose. Whoever Mercedes is going to feud with next doesn't mean she's going to lose her title. We don't know that, though. So, I don't know who that's going to be with. But we can't always look at somebody and say, hey, man, that person should win. That just because you want them to win. You have to understand, look at what's happening. There's no story between any of them where it's leading to anything other than a title shot. You understand? There's no story there. You understand what I mean? There's no, the story, basically, this is the sports part of it of, okay, you're fighting for a title shot. That's what this match was for. This is not about a feud right here. So it hurts nobody. The problem, this is the problem with the current business model in wrestling, where people, like I said, everything is whatever the WWE is doing. That bullshit mentality. So here's what happens. Just like with the trios match. Okay, well, before I say that. Okay, Kenta Shibata fights against Takeshita, and man, they had a hard hitting. That was a great match. Back and forth, hard hitting. That was a solid match, man. That was a great match. Easily the best match of the night, but a great match. And they were all good matches. That match was so solid, man. And Takeshita gets the win. And I remember watching him in New Japan. I watched him wrestle in indie wrestling promotions all in and out of America. So he's another one. I knew who he was. I mean, this dude is amazing. Both of them. Kenta as well, man. Great match. And, Kenta got the win. Now, let me say this. Every match is not going to lead into a feud. That's one thing we got to stop thinking. Every time somebody wrestles, okay, it's a feud. This person wrestled, so therefore they're feuding. That's not how it works. Now, just like, for example, someone said, I don't understand why they had a trios match. They didn't even say trios. The motherfucker said a 3-on-3 because, Daniel Garcia, the champion, right? I said, okay, so you're trying to make the same type of comparison as Bianca Belair and Naomi being champion. So when I say, why are they champions and all they do is fight singles matches or some type of tag match that has nothing to do with the titles being on the line? Do you know how often Daniel Garcia defends his title? And also understand, right? AEW has trios champions. Yes, WWE doesn't. So their format to have trios champions, yes, you're going to have people fight for other titles. But the point, what I'm saying, in terms of this person speaking, is because they're not even aware that they have trios champions. And this was basically a trios match where now you can see Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic, and Two Hands was going back and forth with Shane Incorporated, Shane Taylor Incorporated, or whatever you call his group. So they pretty much, that's going to be a trios match. So this is the part where, okay, there's no actual story right now. It's for champion, but it's for trios gold. So this is where people don't understand. The difference, every company should have something different. At one point, the X division is what they said, TNA thrived on. That was the heart and soul of TNA. Look at their X division now. You look at it and it's like, why do you even call it the X division? I mean, you call it that, but their X division now doesn't look anything close to like what it used to look like. But they still have it. Yeah, so when you ask, what's the X division? And they say things like, it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. But what does the belt mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? How is the X division title any different from the TNA Digital Media Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship? What separates it? What makes it any different? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just the name of a title that lost its essence, and pretty much there's nothing that you see going on in the X division that, I mean, having X division matches and all this kind of shit, okay, that's all good, but it's like, what is it about the X division now that stands out? You understand what I'm saying? So you should have something that's different. Okay. They haven't had, what I haven't seen? Remember they used to have the lockdown pay-per-view, all cage matches? See, they had different things, and people don't pay attention to this. But TNA they have abandoned a lot of things that they used to do. The King of the Mountain match, like they've abandoned a lot of this stuff. Now, WWE, of course, through time, some of their pay-per-views changed by name, but WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, that's like still the staples of the company. Now, Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell, that's not something you're going to get all the time. AEW have their Blood and Guts, cage match. Now, they have the Owen Hart Classic, Owen Hart Foundational Cup. They have the, their Continental Classic. They have a different format. And therefore, you shouldn't see the same things happen in AEW as the same way you see in WWE and vice versa. So, what WWE did as far as the tournament that they had, this is not an annual thing. That was just for this Women's Intercontinental Championship. Okay? Royal Rumble, Women's Royal Rumble. Okay, so they have different things. And this is the point of what I'm saying. AEW have their Casino Battle Royal. You understand what I mean? It's done in suits, and it's a different format to, their Battle Royal setup. So, it's supposed to be different. So, this is what people don't understand. This is why I do what I do. Because like I said, I'm like the guy who stands up to the bullies. You understand what I'm saying? I defend, the people that it's like, not that AEW and TNA or MLW can't defend themselves. That's not what what I'm saying is the people who want to run their mouth, they don't even understand what's going on in these federations. They just know that what they're doing, they don't see WWE doing it. So therefore, it's no good. That's bullshit. So pretty much, like, and when you talk about matches that shouldn't happen, right? Like I said, the best match that just happened on Saturday night's main event was Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. That's the only match that I actually liked. Like, yo, okay, good match. But it was like, it's cold still. Why? Because I've seen it too many times already. And Rhea should have took her sexy ass out there and wrestled somebody else. It's not her fault. She don't book the matches. You understand what I mean? Now, if it was a choice, Rhea versus somebody or Nia versus somebody, it still should have been somebody else. Simply because we got nothing but a bunch of freaking rematches. Now, you see the point what I'm saying. And Collision is a weekly show. Saturday night's main event isn't. Now, this was Collision's homecoming, back to where it all started, in Jacksonville at Daly's place. But this is what I'm saying. When you have a show that's supposed to be like pay-per-view quality matches, and like, this is what Saturday night's main event was supposed to be. And the reality is that match should have never happened. I've said, just like, for example, when Hobbs came back and he came off injury, he did his interview with Renee Paquette, and talked about how he's gonna terrorize everybody. And listen, and I said he lost it to Kester, and yeah, Kester's that good, but I don't think that match should have happened. Because it's like a setback. All right, I'm back on track. I'm back. Then but he loses. You understand what I'm saying? He won a couple of matches before that pay-per-view, but I still feel like that match, it wasn't necessary to put the two of them against each other, or I don't think he should have lost the match. Or if he was going to lose, maybe he loses cool and get pissed off and maybe do something, hit the referee, something where not clean. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where you got it in professional wrestling. I don't mind clean wins at all. And there's people who complain, oh man, I want to see clean wins. Every time I turn around, somebody's cheating or getting a roll-up pin, whatever, right? So people don't know what they want. But I'm saying in terms of keeping the wrestler in a position where They're not losing their shine. You know what I mean? And Hobbs is back, which that's something I forgot to talk about. Hobbs and Big Bill. Notice I talked about Hobbs and Big Bill the other night, and I said, man, both of those guys are money. They just got to use them right, man. Look, AEW got super talent in that roster. They got the most talented roster, period. If you look at all who's in wrestling and look at that roster is stacked. And basically, I love what they did with them because this wasn't even a sanctioned match. And we got a lot out of it. Pretty much they were out back, and Hobbs is waiting for Bill to come out. And he comes out. They have this street fight out in the back and going back and forth. Now, earlier, Hobbs is pretty much getting the best of Big Bill. And they're going back and forth, but Hobbs is getting the best of him. And, you know, the rep people come out, security, whatever, they try to separate the two. They finally get them separated. And, you know, later on, it comes out to the ring, and they out to the stage and to the ramp. They fight back and forth. And they're going back and forth. I don't remember what the hell. I think he might have hit him with that brick or whatever. I don't know. But Hobbs was bleeding like on the face or whatever. So Bill started like getting the best of Hobbs at this point. But Hobbs starts coming back, and Hobbs hits him with the belly to belly from the stage. They both go flying through this table. Great spot. I love what they did with these two because it wasn't a sanctioned match and it wasn't a winner or a loser. This is the beginning of their feud. And this is what they need. This is John Cena versus Edge. You know, this is John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. This is, you know, you understand what I'm saying? Two people who will start something and people will remember this. You know, this is Triple H versus The Rock or Kurt Angle. You understand what I'm saying? You have to, like, see, when you look at the legends, you look at who's there. Now, Sting is retired. You know, he'll come back, you know, here and there. You know, Bryan Danielson, retired. Maybe, you know, who knows, maybe, you know what. Bottom line, in ring. So, you got Moxley there. He's with the Death Riders. You got Christian there. You got Copeland there with FTR. So, you know, what I'm saying is these guys making a name for themselves without depending on wrestling against a more established guy with a bigger name, or preferably someone that was released from WWE that comes. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but the problem with that is when that happens, it becomes like a pattern, and that's when shit becomes predictable. And like Hobbs doesn't need the rub. Hobbs doesn't need to align himself with Bobby Lashley or Shelton Benjamin for them to string him along. A guy like Wheeler Yuta, who is clearly a lot younger than everybody else in the Death Riders, except maybe Marina Shafir. But bottom line is, you know, they're trying to make him ruthless. Moxley's trying to, like he said, it's not about one Moxley. I want to make 20 Moxleys. Like, this is what I said to you guys before, man. This is exactly what I said to you guys. It's like he's trying to teach Yuta to be ruthless. When you look at the story and look at what was happening, like when they grabbed him and had him set up like they were going to do something to him because they knew this was going to draw Orange Cassidy out to come for the save. And even though Orange is coming to save him, Yuta's going to stomp him out because his loyalty to the Death Riders. You see, I don't understand. This is what I'm saying. I not to be funny, but I picture you WWE fans watching TV like this. And if the story's not super long, you don't understand it. So, at the end of the day, that's what he was doing. Now, another thing I forgot about. How could I? When Mariah May comes out, Toni Storm comes out. Now, the fans love Toni Storm. She always gets a solid ovation when she comes out. So this thing she's been doing ever since she came back, this looking up to everybody's fan, friendly, shaking everybody's hand, we were all trying to figure out where she was going with this, right? Now we know. And I love Toni Storm in the ring as well, man. Toni Storm comes out and she's telling Mariah May she's her biggest fan. She want to be just like her. I watched you in Japan. I watched you when you first started, or this and that, right? Then basically she gives her a hug and Mariah May smacks the shit out of her and then starts to beat her with the belt, right? And she leaves the ring celebrating, and then all of a sudden, Toni Storm goes into her timeless Toni Storm voice. what makes you think I forgot? And she starts talking. And so bottom line, she said what you just witnessed was a great performance or something to that, top level performance, whatever. So now her timeless Toni Storm character is back. So all this was leading up to that. And pretty much, what is she telling? All those things she said to Mariah May, she's describing Mariah May. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I mean about this Kid Logic shit, though. People don't understand something if it's not spelled out. Like in other words, AEW fans, you can tell them, talk to them like I'm talking to you right now. And AEW fans, they see it, they get it. WWE fans, it's more like Roman Reigns is fighting Cody Rhodes. When they get into the ring, the battle's gonna explode. La 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 la. Like, you guys are like romper room tune shit. Like, you don't get it. Cause you guys watch AEW just to complain about it. But when you, the thing about it is, look, if I see something and I feel like that wasn't a good episode, I'll say that shit. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. If I didn't feel something, the issue that most people have is, like I said, they can't accept something being different. Now, basically, Toni Storm lit the building up with her promo, and she pretty much stripped down and had her Toni Storm look, and she told her, you might be the woman from hell, but you came from my womb, and I will shove you back up there and spit you out. And told her, because I am Toni Storm, and I'm going to rip your tits off. And I'm like, oh shit, she went there. I mean, the crowd was, they started chanting her name. This is what we've been waiting for. Timeless Toni Storm to come back. That character, by far, was more entertaining than her rock star, red and black, green and black. That timeless Toni Storm character is what really got her over. And the beauty of that is that was a creation that came within AEW. And this is what I'm saying, and this is what wrestling has to get back to, man, is building character for the better. At some point, you got to switch things up because, gimmicks become stale at some point. And those things happen. It's wrestling, man. That's how it goes. Now, it's just like I told you guys, man. Like, when I watch, like, people stream live on TikTok and things like that, it's like everybody's playing the same fucking games. Like, goddamn. So when you see people playing different, that's what gets my attention. How many different people do I need to watch play Tekken? Which is, I love the game. Tekken is great. Mortal Kombat, of course you expect the popular games to get play. But goddamn, it's like even when people play these games, they use the same exact characters. It's like, goddamn. You think that they don't have anybody else on the game other than the characters. Like, everybody's fighting. So if I just watch, Sub-Zero versus fucking Omni-Man, and 12 fucking matches in a row, somebody keep picking Omni-Man and Sub-Zero. It's like, all right, I'll say, like, goddamn, use somebody else. But this is what they do. Everybody's using the same characters. If they're playing football, it's the same thing. Everything. Why have a roster full of people if you're going to narrow it down to the same 6 or 7 people or every time? And this is what it is in wrestling and anything else, man. I used to like arena football. And I didn't look at it and say, oh, they should have did this and they. No, I just watched it, and I didn't watch it like I'm watching this because I'm trying to replace the NFL. There's certain sports that people made that I felt like was garbage. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw that sport where they're playing basketball, but they're actually throwing punches at each other. And I'm like, what kind of stupid shit is this? They have a sport where people stand there and literally slap the shit out of each other. I've seen people do all kinds of things. They had a basketball game where they had like a springboard match or whatever you want to call it, trampoline spots on the floor so you can dive up and do different shots. And I mean, it was kind of entertaining, but at the same time, it was like, okay, something to watch. It wasn't like something like, oh my God, I gotta see this. But it was something to watch. I like, back in the day, I used to watch American Gladiators. You have now what they call, American Ninja. They had Mount Olympus. I don't know if they still do that shit. The Rock was hosting that show. I don't think they even have that show anymore. But they had Mount Olympus. Different type of challenges, type of games where it's like, you certain things stick around and other things fade away. But it's not about comparing it to something to say they should copy this or, well, I think this show is better. A lot of this shit I don't even think about until somebody asks me. And it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I like what I like. But me personally, I'm not into this long storytelling because I get it. And there's no need to drag the fucking story on for 6 months, to drag the fucking story on for a fucking year. And I mean, then where's the closure at? We thought that shit ended, 3 months ago. Then all of a sudden, guess who's back in the ring again? So for me, I like that style of wrestling shows much better than people just coming in the ring and just talking about nothing. You say the same shit on Raw, and you're supposed to be assigned to Raw, but you show up on SmackDown and say the same shit on SmackDown. You know what I mean? And like example, like that fight with Nia Jackson and Rhea shouldn't have happened because you need Nia. Look, they're going into the Royal Rumble. Protect your top people. They should all look strong going into there. Very easily, like I said, Rhea should have been defending her title against somebody else. And I would pick Rhea over Nia simply because Rhea has the belt. Let her fight somebody she's never wrestled before. It's not going to hurt that person. Give somebody a shot. This isn't about a feud anymore between Rhea and Nia. It's just, goddamn, how many times? I mean, we seen Braun Breaker and Sheamus fought several times, like I said before. We seen this shit already, man. And the fact that the main event was Gunther versus Jey Uso was like, okay, let's see what they do. And we saw what they did. And it just wasn't a good show. WWE fans get pissed off because they know, they see the videos, they hear the comments, they're like, oh man, what about AEW? Like, grow the fuck up, man. When you create content, you need to bring the news. And pretty much, when you have people that's robotic and they just say what they think people want them to say, you're not going to get that out of me, man. I'm going to say what I feel. Now, one of the things I saw today, let me just put this out here. 2 channels said, great news, breaking news. A Ring of Honor was given a offer for a TV deal. Now, whatever those offers were, let me just tell you, were not disclosed to the public. We don't even know if it was a streaming offer, if it was regular TV, or we don't even know that. I know that the reason Tony Khan, chose Chris Jericho to be champion in Ring of Honor is for that reason, that Chris Jericho himself said that shit. I read an article, on one of those videos, basically, today, that, yeah, he knows that people will pay more attention to him being a champion because he's a well-known wrestler. It's like, yeah, so we know that when in terms of getting a deal, this is how I look at Ring of Honor. If he can get them a streaming deal, damn well Tony Khan don't want to take whatever, all right, first thing come up and take it. Like, it has to be something lucrative, something to get eyes on that product, and pretty much for Ring of Honor to really flourish, I feel like they're going to have to do it on a different night. Because pretty much, if, like, when they do a show, like, for example, if you do a show in the same building twice, if you do it on different nights, then, like, just say, for example, you go live for Dynamite, then you go live with Collision Saturday in that same building. Okay, it's 2 different crowds that's coming for these shows. But if you tape Ring of Honor on any one of those nights, that's a long time. And Ring of Honor is a 2-hour show. They don't even have the name of a show. It's just called Ring of Honor Wrestling, okay? They don't even have like a name of the show. And the thing is, that's a long time for people to just be sitting there, man. So I feel like Ring of Honor would flourish more if they do Ring of Honor on a different night, and it have its own feel to it, and it does have a different feel from Collision and Dynamite. It does, but if they do it on a different night, Tony's probably gonna get a few more heads involved to so the show can run smoothly and consistently. And I say that because it would be the people coming there. It has nothing to do with Dynamite or Collision. That means these people are focusing solely on Ring of Honor. Now, they, of course, are going to have people present that are well known. They have a lot of people, but the more people you get, the better. The reason is because now you could look and say, oh shit, okay, they got this person, that person, okay. This is why when you have different stars and you send them back and forth and you see them on Ring of Honor, you see them on Dynamite or Collision, more people are seeing them on those shows than they are on Ring of Honor. But when they do wrestle at Ring of Honor, they know who they are. So the thing is, it's just like, for example, that people that watch Raw and SmackDown don't necessarily care about NXT, or vice versa. People that watch the NXT might not necessarily care so much about what Raw or SmackDown is doing. So what ends up happening is you think that a show is just going to do the same numbers. Use common sense. Look at NXT's numbers compared to Raw or SmackDown's numbers. So that goes to show you that, yeah, just because you watch Raw or SmackDown don't mean that they care about NXT. So it's the same thing when you look at Ring of Honor. It's like, that's why I said in the previous video when Eric Bischoff is saying, oh, get them a TV deal or do this. It's not exactly what you think it is, man. Eric Bischoff knows about these deals and everything. This is why I know he's being spiteful with the things that he say, because, man, if you don't have star power, companies are they're not willing to just say, okay, guess what? We're going to give you a deal. Look, think about this. They dropped Rampage. Rampage wasn't a part of the deal. If they're going to record Ring of Honor on the same night that they do a Dynamite or a Collision, that's a long time, like I said, for people to sit. Plus, you got to understand, when you go live, it doesn't make sense for Ring of Honor to be recorded but then shown on a later date. They want to do these shows live. They want to get as much attention as possible. Now, don't you think they want that to be on Max? And also, right now, they also have a deal that pretty much will be talked about later on sometime this year, where their pay-per-views will be on Prime. So if you look at Ring of Honor, that's the point. What I'm saying is, it won't be a good look when you tape it the same day. Why? Because what's going to happen is, people who don't really care, people that's coming for the Dynamite or whatever the pay-per-view is, or for a Dynamite show or Collision show, the building's not necessarily going to be filled up for Ring of Honor. This is my point. So for Ring of Honor, they might even have to find smaller venues and say, okay, cool, no problem. But guess what? We have a product here, and that product will grow if you got the right people on that show. But you can't take away from what you already have with Dynamite and with Collision. People contracts are up, people stay, people go. There's a lot that people got to consider, man. And so the thing with that is, if you are gonna do a show and the crowd is like, the building's not half, as full as it should be because people are just waiting for the late show, the main show later. That's the thing, and that's how it would be looked at, the main show. And I think Ring of Honor need to be on a different night. And I feel like that would make them flourish more. And then also look at, okay, now we're going to present this to the world. What are we going to do different? Because one thing that I'm going to tell you about Ring of Honor, they always had that traditional type feel to it. Ring of Honor was always a glorified indies company. They were never on the same level as TNA. And pretty much, if you look at where TNA is even right now, look at the hurdles that TNA had to go through. And that's why I said, if Tony Khan did not buy Ring of Honor, I wonder if they would still be like, what would have happened? You know, what would have happened? I don't know. But at the end of the day, there's nothing giving us information about that. So once again, it's people using their imaginations to tell you, oh, it could be this, it could be that. If I'm me looking at these streaming apps the way they are, I look at who's what, doing what. If they are going to offer them a deal for Ring of Honor, which is a 2-hour show, okay, why not just say, we want Rampage, but we want it to be 2 hours and not 1? But also understand, right? And Rampage, of course, get way more views and attention than Ring of Honor. So this is the point what I'm saying. If Ring of Honor, like Pluto TV has TNA, Pluto TV has WOW, they mostly show older stuff. I don't think that's really a good move. Tubi could be a good move because Tubi get a lot of attention because it's free. Now, Tubi could be a good move. It could be a good move. The CW, they have their, streaming platform as well. There's more out there. But I don't see how this is going to end up on Max. And it definitely would have to be a different day. Then you got to understand, think about it, okay? It could even be on a Friday. But think about it. Max has a lot of sports as well. Prime has a lot of sports. So you understand what I'm saying? Even if they was able to get it on Prime, the point is they don't want something sitting there and it's not getting watched. And that's why you have to have something that's right. So when you put that show out there, it's like, okay, this show now, everybody, they want to see it. They're watching this. It's work that goes into this, man. It's not just you tell somebody you want a deal, y'all shake hands, dry some ink, and then cool. It doesn't work like that. But there's nothing telling you about anything about it. And this is why when people say things, I'm like, why do people make these videos? Because there's nothing but clickbait. They talk to you to try to make you think they're giving you some news that you don't, and it's nothing. But the Prime move, that's actually reported, like different big sites are reporting that. But these content creators, man, they come with this stuff, and it's like, man, you don't even have any information. You just saying a bunch of could be, what if, maybe. So why does your thumbnail say, what's happening, as if you're going to tell us something that's actually going on? And then I just go straight to the source, and guess what? You don't see none of this stuff up there. So where are you getting this news from? So yeah, we're not saying that the news that they didn't get offers. I mean, hell, I told you, I still have it in my phone right now. I could put it on the community section, or I could put it as a thumbnail on one of my next videos. Where in 2018 it was, where TNA was trying to sell, Scott D'Amore and Anthem was trying to sell, TNA to Tony Khan then, but he didn't do it. So this is the point what I'm saying to you guys, and TNA is in a better position than Ring of Honor was. So yeah, man. And TNA's library will be all on Max. And who knows what may happen, because even if they get a boost from another streaming platform, because they can get traction with Tubi, and then that may end up they'll be on Tubi and Max. I mean, that could happen, just like WWE is on Peacock and they're on Netflix. So you never know, man. But that's not even something that we have information on. And what people need to understand about professional wrestling, man, this shit is every week. Every single week. So it's a lot of writing. It's a lot of thought that has to go into this. It's a lot, man. And so, like I said, man, stop being unrealistic. Stop being so unrealistic. You want this, you want that. Like a bunch of little spoiled kids that don't know how to just, hey, listen, this is what it is, and let's just watch it. I'm not here to say, well, this is what I think they should do with this show and that show and how they should format it. And that's no, it's not, I can give my insights on that, but I look at what they do and it's like, okay, this is what they gave us. And we can look at certain things and say, well, why didn't they just do this? Since they did that, why wasn't they thinking this way? But, I mean, and the reason I say that is because if you wrote the show, if I wrote the show, we wouldn't have wrote what Tony Khan wrote. We wouldn't have wrote what whatever the writers of WWE is writing or what team. We would have a whole different concept of what we're doing. So we're piggybacking off what they've already done. But we can always look and say, well, they did that, but they could have, like me saying, that match between Hobbs and Takeshita shouldn't have happened, really. I mean, when you look at it, but guess what? Powerhouse Hobbs is right back. And that's the thing. It's how you bring them back as well. So he recovered from that loss. You know what I mean? And basically it was a bad will thing. All right, and they're still going with the bad will thing, you know what I mean? But pretty much, and like I said, man, this is like how, and the comparison I was making is basically based on, look at how many times, multiple times, John Cena and Adam Copeland was champion, right? And how they were going back and forth. Stone Cold and The Rock back and forth. Stone Cold and Triple H. The Rock and Triple H. Triple H and Kurt Angle, like, Kane, Undertaker, like they back and forth. But Taker was already a legend. This is the point what I'm saying, man. Like these guys are making their name with like when you look and you say, hey, you can look back and watch Powerhouse Hobbs versus Big Bill and say, hey, man, I watched these guys grow in the company. You know what I mean? I watched them. And I watched their feuds. And this is what's necessary. Now, those days of like 16-time champion and all, that shit's probably done, man. I don't think people really want to stomach that shit anymore, man. And like when you look at like the type of title reign that Roman Reigns had, who do you really want to see hold a belt that long again? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, what was done? I mean, it has to be the right timing and the right person. And even then, a lot of people are going to get tired of seeing the same person hold a belt for so long. And I hear you WWE fans say that, which is why I'm like, you guys are hypocrites, man. You don't even know what you want. Because if you're saying that, but then you turn around and you're okay with watching two fucking people fight 18 times a year, you're watching, every segment is always the same people. They're in the same segment or the following segments. You just keep seeing, it's like, we keep seeing the same people in the same order. It's just like, okay, come on, give us somebody else. You got all these people, give us somebody else. But yeah, man, they're on the right track. They're doing what they do the right way. It's just, you hear all this negativity and, it's like, and not to be funny, man, because like even when Eric Bischoff said, hey, man, he did some MLW, and yeah, of course you're doing all these different shows. In fact, that's who he kicked in the nuts was Mance Warner, which is the guy that just showed up in TNA. And my whole thing is like, how the fuck are you sitting up here talking all this shit about AEW? Bro, do you realize that, and I love watching MLW and whatever I can watch, but I saw Matt Riddle come back, win the title again there. I remember seeing Matt Riddle there way before he came to the WWE. But nobody talks about MLW. And it's always this thing where people try to find a promotion to say, it's better than AEW. It's this, it's that. TNA's better than AEW. You guys said TNA sucked, man. And it's funny because now people are going, damn, you know what, Aries, you're right. You said that. And I tell people, just read the comments. Look at the shit people. Nobody talks about fucking TNA. All they talk about, now you do have people that have talked about, a couple of channels started talking about them, like the pay-per-view, but they don't talk about their weekly show. And the only time they really talk about anything during a weekly show is because somebody from NXT came over. Like Cora Jade came out to like zero applause. I don't even think the TNA fans even know who the hell she is. This is the point what I'm saying. When it comes to wrestling, you're doing something different. I know for TNA, in terms of people paying more attention to them by being affiliated with the WWE, okay, great. It's working for them. But what TNA don't need to happen is the only reason we're watching TNA is because they're affiliated with WWE. Because that means when the partnership ends, Well, those WWE fans go, it was fun while it lasted. And TNA will see exactly where they stand. I want people to get into what I'm doing because of me. You understand what I mean? It's like if you're a singer or a rapper, just say, and every time your songs come on, people going, oh, that beat go hard. Oh, I love that track. Oh, man. Yo, you hear the drum patterns? Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that horn, how they put in there. Goddamn, what about the lyrics? What about the voice pitch? The voice tone? What about... Yeah, it's everything other than the artist. You understand what I'm saying? For that matter, you just could have bought a freaking... or downloaded some songs with nothing but music on it. No singing, no rapping. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I didn't produce the fucking songs. Other producers did that. I wrote the lyrics, though. I'm the one singing and rap. Like, what about that? This is what I'm saying. And that's what it's like, you know, all of a sudden now, because TNA is affiliated with the WWE. We look, I know what the strategy is, and then here go people already. I saw somebody had a video talking about, oh, TNA is about to overtake AEW. And I'm like, bro, you motherfucker, you think people just going to start coming out all of a sudden and TNA is selling 15, 16,000 seat arenas out and all that? Oh, they stop it, man. Hey, listen, I don't want to see that growth stop. If them motherfuckers took over and became the #1 promotion, hey, more power to them. What I'm saying, this is nothing but you crossing your fingers, wanting to see something happen, because I don't understand how people are so full of hate and stupidity, man. I just don't. But yeah, look, TNA got a long way to go to catch up to where AEW is. And in fact, let's just be real. TNA had this platform far before AEW. They managed to make one video game. People complained about it. I thought the game was fun. No, you don't have cage matches and all that other shit on there. No, you don't. So it's stuff that they didn't put on the game. But at the same time, the game was fun. And for the time it came out, I still got that shit too. You know, on my 360. It was a fun game. But guess what? People talked all this shit about it. Isn't it funny how now somebody will go and play it and go, oh man, this game was actually good. I always thought the game was fun. I thought it had a nice storyline to it. But they managed to make one game. They lost a lot. They maintained. And I would say those motherfuckers are like probably the most resilient company I've ever seen, because they've had roadblocks where it looked like it was all but over for them, and then somehow they survived, man. And I always liked TNA. It doesn't appeal to me as much as it used to in the past, you know, but I still watch it. And listen, it's like this. If you understand what TNA went through and see where they are, and if you acknowledge that, then you're just playing stupid then. Like, you don't understand what AEW is doing. And no matter what, it took TNA a long time to finally get it. I remember it was on FS1. I was watching TNA when they used to have those 99-cent pay-per-views, okay? Basically, I was watching them. I watched them. It took them a long time to finally get situated with a TV deal. They got the FS1. Then they wound up going to Spike. And that's when they really picked up more. And pretty much from day one with the so-called Monday Night Wars and all that, oh, the WWE fans didn't like that shit. And I'm like, yeah, you people done got soft, man. You don't even, yet you guys always talking about how Vince McMahon loves competition. You don't even love competition, so shut up. So I'm just like, yeah, here we go. But that goes to show you that worked back then, but it doesn't work now. But it's funny how when AEW comes on the same night as a WWE event, y'all are hoping that, you know, they keep talking about ratings. Like, man, listen, who gives a fuck, man? You have nothing better to do with your time but sit up and watch the ratings of each show, and that makes you feel better. Because, I mean, AEW was kicking fucking NXT's ass for like an entire year or more, constantly just beat them in the ratings. It's like, okay, I really didn't give a fuck, but every video you watch, somebody's bringing up the ratings, and I'm like, you know what? I got sick of all of that shit, man. I got sick of all of it. It's like, I don't care about the ratings, right? I just care. I focus on the show and being entertained by the show. I don't care what the ratings say. Because like I said, I've seen the WWE give us some garbage programs. And they might have still had a higher rating than TNA at the time or whatever, or AEW. Who cares? I've seen them put good shows on. You understand what I'm saying? Like, every company has their ups and downs. And yet, here's a company, look at what AEW accomplished in 5 years. TNA has never gotten to the success of what AEW is. Never. Somehow, they're all of a sudden better than AEW. And honestly, I don't give a fuck how y'all see AEW, TNA, or whatever. My thing is, though, conduct yourselves like grown adults, especially if you're talking to me. Because you went way over your head with that bullshit, and I'll chop you the fuck up real quick. Because you don't know what you be talking about. You motherfuckers are like little kids. You got some motherfuckers that's not even 20 fucking years old, and you be talking like you know wrestling. Like, you know, motherfucker, you wasn't even born when fucking WCW versus the NWO, you wasn't even fucking born. You got to watch videos. Like, you motherfuckers that'll watch a 16-minute, Bulls historical Michael Jordan mixtape, and then you think you can sum up this man's whole career in a 16 fucking minute video, while some of us was fucking there, watching him play night after night, week after week, watching these games. Some of us was live at the games. And yet, because of a fucking video, you think you can tell us what the fuck we know when we were there. You weren't. This is what I'm saying. And when you are a student of something and you study and watch film and do all, well, in all honesty, for professional wrestling, it's more like a just watch along and enjoy. Because it's not even a real fucking sport. So to be that deep, like when people talk about who's the greatest of all time, I don't believe in no fucking greatest of all time, man. Everybody they like somebody, and it's subjective with different people. Who really gives a fuck? Who really cares, man? And this is why we can't enjoy video games, why we can't enjoy wrestling, why we can't enjoy movies. Nothing, because there's always a man, but why they didn't do this and what? I remember when The Walking Dead was a very popular, top-rated show. Right? They were the top-rated show. I also liked Z Nation, and then when they made Fear the Walking Dead, I liked all three of them because they all had a different feel. Oh man, I don't like Z Nation. Well, okay, that's your fucking problem. Nobody asked you. I do. But I don't like Fear the Walking Dead. Once again, that's a you problem. I do. Well, I like the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, but from 4, I don't like it no more. Okay, well, that's a you problem. Do you understand? I like all 5 Final Destinations. Well, I like the first one. Well, I like the third one. Okay. It's always a complaint. It's always something to just be on the downside. Take something for what it is, and you say, okay, cool. I get it. And my whole thing with my thing with that is, you'll find a movie that you probably have a whole lot more people that don't like the movie, but you love it. That's my point. Why is it always a comparison, man? So this is what I do. I take your own bullshit and use it against you. But I'll break shit down and I'll have you look at what you said and what you're doing and look at what you're criticizing and look at what you're cheering. And you tell me you're not being biased. You know, motherfucker. You guys know better. What's that video game? World War Z. I love that game. Oh, man, I remember I'm playing this game. And somebody was playing it. They had it wasn't live. It was a recorded video. And I remember I put in the comment section, this is I think they added the Japan board. I don't think they had added it yet. One of those boards, one of those maps, they hadn't added yet. And I said, because I had saw some trailer of it, and I said, yeah, when they get that one, I said definitely I'm gonna be back on it, because I hadn't played it in a while, and I was playing the other video game. It's a bunch of them. The guy with the camera, and he's fighting zombies and all this shit. You know, the very first one, like in a helicopter, he's taking pictures and all that. I forget the name of it, but you guys should know what I'm talking about. They got like 5 versions of that game. And his character is actually on Marvel vs. Capcom. I forget his name. But, and you had people on the comment section, oh man, such and such is better than World War Z. Who the fuck asked you, man? When did any one motherfucker say anything about any other game? It's like they can't even stick to a fucking topic. We're talking about World War Z. If you don't like World War Z and these games you're talking about you find to be better, why in the fuck do you take the time to say, this thumbnail says World War Z is insane. Love this game. I beg to differ. Let me get my hate glasses on. Oh, this game isn't better than such and such. This game sucks ass. This game is blah, blah, blah. This game, it's like, who asked your goofy punk nerd ass? We don't give a fuck. Oh, you're right. You know what? We shouldn't like this game. No, it's not how that works. So all of this talking and negativity, just because people like something that I've never seen such stupid shit. And I'm not being funny. This is why you guys can't keep a relationship. This is why you can't get in one, because you're childish. People actually get angry simply because you like something. And because they don't like it, they don't want anybody else to like it. Plain and simple. Just like when people said, oh man, I don't like 2K either. I know how you feel. I didn't say I don't like 2K. I don't like the bugs and all that goofy shit. And the fact that game costs 140 fucking bucks, we spent all this money on it and all this other shit happened. Like I just changed characters up, gave them new outfits and all. Guess what? Now they have their original outfits. So what the fuck? You understand? Now I'm going to go buy 2K25? No, kiss my ass. I'm not buying that bullshit. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? But anything that has that WWE logo on it, it can do no wrong. And it's like, no. I'm going to give you the real. I don't give a fuck if you don't like what I'm saying. But just like I'm saying, you see a fucking thumbnail and you don't like that company, you don't like that product, that genre, then stay the fuck off the video. Why waste your time? You have nothing going on in your life. Nothing. That's why you sitting there probably with a one-piece pajama set on with the ears on top of your head like a big-ass kid, just trying to talk tough, sitting up with Naruto clothes on and shit. Like, bro, wake up, grow up. Nobody cares. We watch wrestling. Like I said, when I was a kid, man, we used to run home from school, 4 o'clock, AWA. That went off, going to our stations, WCCW, UWF. Man, we watched all this shit, and little by little, all those federations went away. And it was like, damn, we missed it. And here you motherfuckers now have more wrestling to watch than we can stand. But instead of just being a fan of wrestling, let's pick and choose. Let's try to bash a company. But then you turn around and watch some garbage of a show. And look at the people that keep watching it, but they keep complaining about it. But they keep watching it, but they keep complaining about it. And it's like, why are you guys even worrying about what the fuck is going on the show? Like, if look, I've seen episodes where I'm like, the WWE style it's like, it's always a bittersweet thing with me. And with most of the people that watch it, if they're honest with themselves, they'll tell you something, but they'll just keep, it's far superior to this and that. So you say. Look, tell you what, Target is a huge store. So is Walmart. Walmart is considered number one, right? Now, do you think that every fucking body think Walmart is a better store than Target? I prefer Target over Walmart. They have different things. So there's certain things that I can get from Walmart that I can't get from Target and vice versa. But if I have a choice, like just to do regular, I prefer Target over Walmart. It's not about picking a side. It depends on what I'm going there for. But one of the things about Walmart is Walmart's they're starting to look beat down and dusty and raggedy, and they don't look well kept. They like big flea markets. Targets are usually more clean, more inviting when you walk in, and in terms of the service you get, Walmart is starting to just hire just anybody. And people are people. So I've seen drama in Targets, I've seen drama in Walmarts and all kinds of goofy shit. But I mean, as far as me spending my money, what I want, who more than likely have what I need, for the most part, Target. At one point, Walmart had, but nothing stays the same. So even though Walmart is the biggest retailer in America, okay, well, guess what? that doesn't mean everybody likes Walmart better than Target. Deal with it. Get used to it. And that's pretty much, how it goes with anything. So, yeah, we talking about a company in the WWE that's been around longer than all these other companies, with the exception of the NWA. But everybody don't like the WWE more than everything else. Most people, obviously, that's why they're the number one company. But no, everybody don't. And it just bothers people to see a company come along and be successful. No, let's hate on the company. Now, for AEW fans that walked away from it, I'm telling you, more than likely, these are the fans that, with the mentality, I'm trying to find something else to replace WWE with. They hear all this negative talk. They see things as different. They don't understand how to process it. So it's not what the WWE is different. And they just, little by little, it's not the same thing. And people get persuaded. You know what it's like? They get persuaded by words. Because it's like this. If you watch a boxing match, right? And for someone that don't know how to box, like most of you motherfuckers, you sit up and just watch it, but you can't fight a lick, but you watch it. If you listen to the commentators, you'll be persuaded to think that the person that's losing is winning. Yeah. If you understand boxing and what it is, even if you can't fight yourself, I guarantee you'll watch the fight and you're not biased and you'll go, wait a minute, man. I used to think that this motherfucker won, but now that I'm watching it, he lost. You know why? Because now you're watching it and you're not letting the fucking commentators influence you with their bias towards the fighter that they wanted to win. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You hear people saying all this shit. If they tell you something sucks, then it sucks because somebody else said it, or a lot of people said it. But you got a whole lot of people saying it don't suck, but you don't pay attention to them. So all this shit comes down to, well, WWE gave this and they gave that. And then when somebody say, hey, man, I'm a diehard WWE fan, but this show sucked. Man, this fucking show has been sucking for like the past 5-6 months. What the fuck is going on? And why are you hating? Goofy shit like that. So it's okay to hate any other company, but when you speak your mind about WWE, you're hating. Like, come on, man. You guys come in the comment section talking about, I'm just here for the AEW hate. And I'm like, wow. You guys are such kids. You're such kids. You can't get pussy when you are pussy. Like, seriously. I don't even know how some of you look in the mirror and don't feel like assholes, man. Like, I don't understand. You know what's so funny is the other day, I was watching, this guy was playing it's a bowling game. And this is one of those bowling games with actual people. One of the PBA games where they have, right? Actual characters bowling. Real life characters, like people that's really bowlers in real life, right? Now I'm watching it. And you know how when you look at the description of a game, man, people say shit like, I'd rather watch paint dry than play this game. I'd rather chop my dick off and I'll stick my dick in a grinder and chop it up and destroy it, then play this game. All kind of stupid shit like that. And I'm like, I wish I could put you to the test. Like, I wish I had, like, remember that movie, The Wishmaster? Okay, as you wish. I bet you change up. No, I don't really mean it. Like, people say the stupidest shit. Now, my thing is, as a review, even just to say, it's not really for me. Okay, cool. You're not lying. It's not for you. All these extremes you go to make somebody think that the game sucks that bad. And what ends up happening is I noticed this. People were saying, man, people are so full of shit. They're playing this game, and people had me thinking this game was garbage. I actually like the game. You want to know what the biggest complaint? I don't remember. I think it was maybe 22 or 23. Might have been 23. I think it was the PBA 23. Because they talking about, but you can't even play online with your friend. That was the biggest complaint. It's not that the game isn't fun, but you got these people that they can't play anything without logging online and playing with other people. So that one feature, and then the other feature was they talking about the ball. Oh man, but they make you pay. Okay, listen. Y'all should know by now these games cost and they have you paying for other shit. So those are things you don't like, but the game itself is fun. So instead of just saying, it's not really for me. I wish you could play online, and I wish they didn't charge you for the better balls. They should have it where you can bowl and you can win these, and that would make sense too. But again, once you understand that this is the system that they run, why do you keep buying the game and then complaining about it? But that's what I'm saying. Countless amount of people would say, man, people full of shit. I listen to people say this game sucks. I love this game. And I'm like, see, that's what I mean. People won't give something a chance because of what somebody else say. Listen, it is what it is, man. And like I keep telling y'all, we not here to spread hate, but I'm going to be honest about what I see. You guys are not even being honest. You're just being dishonest and biased about shit. And when somebody likes something that's solid, and then you go, oh, this show sucks because blah, blah. Who cares, man? Who cares? I don't watch WWE so I can complain about it. If I don't like what I saw, I'll tell you. If I like what I saw, I'll tell you. You guys clearly watch AEW just so you can complain about it. What kind of fucking life do you have? And honestly, with that type of mentality, I hope you don't have kids. Because your kids are going to be losers. Just like you. Because mom and dad is teaching them to be hateful and stupid. Man, if you don't like something, you don't like something. If a kid, like when my kids were small, and I asked them, I said, okay, this is what the school is offering. You know, basketball, softball, karate, this, that. What do y'all want to do? Do you want to partake in any of this? I didn't tell them what to do. I let them choose what they wanted. One kid goes, oh, softball sucks. This and this and this. And this girl goes, that was much smaller than him. Excuse me, my sister plays softball and she's good at it. If you don't have anything nice to say, why don't you just not say anything? Maybe you just suck at softball. And he had this stupid look on his face. And it was like this little kid. I'm like, wow, that's what people need to tell you grown adults. Stop focusing on negative shit. And for all of the content creators that jump on here trying to get views and likes and subscribers by lying to people, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. And the fact that you have so many sheep out here, I don't even really blame you. Because if they're too stupid to understand that, hey, man, I'm full of shit and I'm just telling people shit because I'm trying to get views and likes, no. Whores are known to get used, right? Hey, man up. That's all I got for you guys right now. Catch you on the next one.